Hi everyone, Destiny Poptano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new Indigo De Souza project, All of This Will End. This is the third full-length studio album from North Carolina singer and songwriter Miss Indigo De Souza, someone who I've been aware for a few years now, enjoying her raw and organic blends of indie pop and rock along the way. Her yelpy, expressive, and dynamic voice is instantly recognizable, and usually brings a pretty significant emotional punch to her songs too. The last batch of songs that she offered us in the form of Any Shape You Take was fairly good, but with this new record over here I was hoping to hear her in a place where she was maybe drowning in her influences a little bit less. Now, to start, this new LP did have some really good teasers. There's Younger and Dumber, which is a slow, beautiful, and stripped back piano ballad, where Indigo really makes you feel every word coming out of her mouth. She sings about feeling taken advantage of at a point when she was more naive, clueless, younger, and running away from home and places that she found familiar as a way to deal. There's a powerful swell of vocal harmonies and bass and what sounds like pedal steel as well at one point on the track for a country twist. In the record's track list, the song serves as a stereotypically slow closing cut, but the performance is so dynamic it'll still put you through the emotional ringer. Then there was also Smog, which has a tighter beat, brighter synths. It's a smooth, glistening anthem that feels larger than life, but the frank writing and fuzzy production gives it that homegrown, humble bedroom pop feel. The final single to the record was You Can Be Mean, which I think is one of Indigo's best songs yet. Not just because she nailed the hook and song structure and guitar work on this one, but her performance on this track is one of the most heart-wrenching on the entire LP, and lyrically I think she does a great job of dissecting her own personal problems with self-worth and emotional boundaries. So all this had me psyched to listen to this album. But sadly I found the duds on this record to start revealing themselves pretty quickly. Like with the opening track, Time Back, where flatly delivered and very on-the-nose lyrics like these kind of feel below Indigo. Plus the way the song itself kind of deconstructs and evaporates as it progresses forward feels kind of like a cop-out by the time it's done. There's also the lumbering riffs that are cooked to a crisp with distortion on Wasting Your Time, which make for a very tedious listen, and once again the writing leaves a lot to be desired. The following Parking Lot is a little better by comparison, but the bland indie rock guitars and drums don't really bring much impact to Indigo's story of disassociating and being on an emotional roller coaster in the supermarket. I feel kind of similarly about the title track of the record too, where the writing lyrically is a lot more interesting than the instrumentation, as Indigo describes feeling anxious and out of body and wanting to turn her brain off, but also giving her grace at one point, saying that nobody knows all the answers in life, and there's only moving through all of it and trying your best. The final leg of the record does bring some interesting moments like The Water, whose very light new wave and synth pop undertones are a nice touch, a nice switch up, plus the hypnotic and trippy refrains toward the very end of the track kind of lock me into a trance instantly. Then Always is an experiment in contrast, kicking off with all these very delicate and weakly strummed guitars and wandering keys, which set a shaky foundation for Indigo's listless voice at the start, and then the song suddenly explodes and solidifies with these crushing riffs through the second half. The performance is intense, for sure, but I'd be lying if I said that the song at the core of it all was all that memorable. Really, in the second half of this LP, the highest watermarks are truly the singles, and I left this album overall feeling like it was just okay. The potential of the previous record wasn't really built upon in any significant fashion. I do respect there are consistent lyrical themes throughout this LP, though, about growing and self-esteem and feeling taken advantage of, which is maybe the best thing about the record. That and Indigo's vocals. But these pros are not really enough to weigh out the album's cons to the point where it really hits the finish line, or at least advances past Any Shape You Take, in my opinion. Feeling a light 6 on this one. Transition, have you given this record a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like, please subscribe, and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head, it's another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Indigo De Souza, forever.